Hello, this is Trent Nelson with Infinite Healing, and somebody has asked me to talk about different mind-body connections and how the mind works and the ways that we perceive things. So somebody asked me about projection and what is projection and how do we project onto other people, or do we, and what does that mean? So the reason we talk about this is that by understanding how you perceive things, it can give you a great indication or information about how to work with specific problems or issues you may be facing in life. So projection is basically when you perceive life, you are perceiving it through the lens of your own mind or your own consciousness. So the way that you perceive your outer world has more to do with your own mind than it actually has to do with the outer world. You have what's called subjective and objective reality. Those are two words that I can help you understand projection. Subjective reality means that the experience of the world and of yourself according to you and, let's say, the filter of your mind, your own perceptions. Objective reality is the way things actually are. And so everybody is experiencing the world through both subjective and objective lenses or filters. So let's say that a car goes down the street and it's a green car, and you like green cars. And so then when you see a green car, you perceive that's a good car. Well, somebody else may have been hit by a green car. And so when they see a green car, they experience trauma or fear, or they don't like the green car. That's what's called subjective reality. Objective reality is the objectification of the reality. It's just a car, and it happens to be green. It doesn't mean anything, it's just a car. That's what's called objective reality. Your perception of life through your subjective reality and your filters of your mind and your consciousness, oftentimes people project what's actually going on in their own mind onto other people. This happens all the time. Somebody will have a perception about you or will say something about you, and you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense to me, I'm not like that. It might be that the person talking about you is actually talking about themselves. And this happens all the time with people. And so the way to work with projection, let's say you think somebody is a certain way, you think somebody is, you don't like mean people. And so you project all around you are mean people or angry people. And it might be that that issue is something in yourself that hasn't been discovered yet, or you haven't wanted to look at that aspect of your mind or your consciousness. So instead of dealing with it internally and resolving your own anger or your own meanness, then you might project that other people are like that. And so whether they are or they aren't, and so obviously you can see that that might have an effect on communication and connection with people, and causes a lot of the misconnection between people are these projections. So the way to heal projection is to start to look at the fact that this idea that I have, this subjective observation of life or of people, may have something to do with myself. Now this takes courage to actually look at yourself this way and be self-inquiring or be self-investigative and see, where would my projections, my opinions about this have come from? And you start to look at your own thoughts and your own mind, and you start to see, where would I have developed these projections? Where did my thoughts come from? Who did I perceive was mean and in my past? And is there any of that that is actually in me, and I don't want to acknowledge that I might be a little bit that way, so I will project that onto the outer world. I'll make it look like you are the way that you say that I am. And so people do this to each other all the time. So that is projection. It is seeing the world or seeing people through the lens of your own consciousness, your own filters, your own mind, and thinking that that is the way that life works. And so that's called subjective reality. That is projection. Then you have objective reality. That is how the way the world actually is. And so the more clear you become and the less you project onto other people, the clearer you are about how life really is, as opposed to just seeing your own unresolved consciousness or your unresolved mind and thinking that everything in the world is that way. So if you have questions about this, or if you'd like more information about this, obviously this is a quick overview, and there is a lot of different ways to talk about this. So you can contact me, www.lulu.com/TrentInspires, or you can also email me, TrentNelsonInspires@hotmail.com, and I'd be happy to help you with any of these questions or issues about projection. So hope this helps, and thanks for your question, and thanks for watching this YouTube.